Okay, today we're playing a game on Route 66. The average SR of this game was 2,525, and we will be playing Reinhardt and Winston throughout most of the game, but there is a little bit of Diva in there as well. Just a little bit, not that much. Our current team composition is Reinhardt, McCree, Junkrat, Hanzo, Moira, and Lucio. So it is, of course, terrible. The principal reason for this is we don't have a Mercy on our team. Because Mercy's still really strong. Believe it or not, she has received 0 balance patches yet, so she is still, in fact, very strong. And if you don't have a Mercy on your team, you're just kind of really saying, I would rather have a lower percentage chance of winning this game. It is basically that simple. The other reason it is bad is because we don't have a second tank. This is not necessarily the end of the world, because we do have a main tank as our only tank. And we can expect the majority of our team to be standing behind us as Reinhardt. I say that, but watch what happens within the first 15 seconds of this game. So, we would rather have a second tank, but our only tank is a main tank, so it's not the end of the world. We'd rather have it. But we'd really, really want a Mercy, because she's really strong. Anyway, let's start the game. So, watch what Junkrat does over here. By the way, Junkrat, there's a story to be told in this game, because we have a trio of players in this game. One Diamond Boy, Junkrat, is trying to boost 2 Gold Boys at the same time, which is incredibly efficient of him, I must admit. But, watch what he does right here. And the reason that's relevant is later, because, some shit-talking happens in this game. We'll get to that as it comes up, though. I love me a good internet fight. So remember how our team should be standing behind us as Reinhardt usually? Yeah, good job, Rye. Good job, man. So our shield, we just almost let it break. I thought it actually broke. It didn't actually break. It is very risky to let it go down to, I'm in the way of the shield. Like, this is a really bad place to be on a Reinhardt replay. So we let it get down to double-digit health, which is bad, because it gets really close to breaking at that point, and you don't want to ever let your shield break as Reinhardt. Take it down a bit faster than that. So, we're missing Junkrat right now. Fighting 5v6 is really hard, and what we do right here is very pointless, and it leads to us dying, where we cut in front of the sign for, like, no reason. Because there's nothing for us to block out in the front of the sign, and we just cut ourselves off from our team, and then they just shoot us while we're against the wall. There's no reason for us to go in front of the sign. There's nothing to block there, so we're just hanging out there with our shield up for no reason, not blocking for anything except ourselves, and we end up getting killed, which is not recommended. So then the rest of our team is just fighting 4v6 until we get back. And now we get back over here. A lot of our team are dead. It's not necessarily over, because, like, our team are still here, they're all here also, though, and, it's not really going well, and there's not really very much we can do about it, other than maybe build up Earth Shatter and use it and get the entire enemy team. The silver lining is that they do end up using ultimates. Their Reinhardt just used his Earth Shatter, and their Genji used his Dragon Blade on fights they'd already won. So, that's great. So, now, here's the story to be told, right? So our friend, Moira, who is probably a Smurf, because they're Platinum, but a very low-level account, so they're probably a Smurf. Our friend Moira has pointed out that our team comp is quite bad, which it is. He didn't really point it out in a particularly productive or amicable way, but he said the team comp was not good. Now, our 2 Gold Boys, who are in the process of being boosted by their Diamond Boy, took offense to this, and our friend James, Gold Boy number 1, the protagonist of our story, informs the Moira that he is toxic, and that he should therefore kill himself. It reminds me of that one adage, something about, like, a marijuana calling a kettle black or something like that. I'm very fuzzy on the details, it's not one that you hear very often. That's wordplay. It was a very funny joke, thank you very much. And, it basically continues like that throughout the game, where our 2 Gold Boys are very offended by this man saying this about the team comp, this true statement about the team comp. and then they proceed to talk a lot of shit for the rest of the game. At one point, our friend James, Goldboy number 1, points out that Moira is probably gay, and that he should go suck a cock. Fair enough. Not really sure what that has to do with anything, but he felt necessary to point it out at one point during this game, and that's basically how the game goes for a while. A lot of people are... There you go. Look, arguing's happening right now. So, he was also pointing out that Lucio is not very good on this map because it is very open. This is quite true. However, Lucio is also always good, so he's always alright, at the very least, so... We've got Earth Shatter right now. Their Reinhardt does not currently have Earth Shatter because he just used it over there for a fight he'd already won, so not very good use of his resources. So right now, we're currently not really blocking for anything because there's nobody behind us. Lucio's here now, but Lucio left. Basically, a bunch of people cut over there onto the other side of the bridge. We're basically just holding our shield up for not very much reason for most of that, because we're only really blocking for ourselves, which is not the point of playing Reinhardt, because you can always stand out of the way. That wall does just as good a job of protecting you as your shield does, but the wall has infinite hit points, your shield does not. If you're holding your shield up, you want to be holding it up because you're protecting somebody else. So, now, we have been pinned by their Reinhardt. We know he doesn't have Earth Shatter, so we'd very much like him to be out of the way. He is now out of the way. We have used Earth Shatter, and we killed their Mercy as a result. Most of their team are dead. We are now running after the remaining members of their team. We're looking for Moira, I believe. There she is. Got her eventually. She's pretty staggered, as is Zyra, this is fucking League of Legends. Zarya compared to the rest of their team, so that's good for us. Their Reinhardt is at this point quite close to having Earth Shatter built up again, though, because he got a fat, juicy pin on us, which means that's like 25% ult charge right there. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, you caught me, but him pinning another tank is a lot of ult charge. Plus him just having, like, more time than us to start working on his. You know, there was a fight in here somewhere, so he's getting pretty close to having his Earth Shatter at this point, and we're only at 50%. So we do countercharge him, but the absolute worst feeling in the world as Reinhardt is when you countercharge the other Reinhardt, but he had a Zarya bubble on him. Because you still bonk off the other Reinhardt, but that Reinhardt's immune to CC, so he gets to keep standing, even though you countercharged him. Which just means that even if it was a really bad charge, he is unlikely to get punished for it, because he didn't have to go into the knockdown state. It is actually the worst feeling in the entire world. So, at this point, I would probably change to Winston, because look at their team, basically. They've got Genji, Widowmaker, Pharah, Mercy. The only people Winston isn't good at fighting is the tanks. He's not the best at fighting Pharah, but he's still pretty good against Pharah because he can do, like, consistent damage to her. And Winston is, of course, very good against Widowmaker and Genji. And then you can just avoid the two tanks. So at this point, I would probably change to Winston. Though at the same time, we do have to consider that they have a Reinhardt, and if we don't have, and our team is quite static also, right? Like we've got a McCree and, who's the other one? McCree and a Soldier at this point. And a Hanzo. So our team is fairly static, so they're going to be spending a lot of time standing around. And because because they have a Reinhardt, and if we don't have a Reinhardt, there's the risk that, like, all our DPS heroes just get Earth Shattered and killed as a result. So, maybe worth saying on Reinhardt just to try and block the Earth Shatter, because our team is quite static. But, Winston's really good against their team. Again, this is why we wish one of the DPS was just playing another tank, because then we could have the best of both worlds. So, I wouldn't even bother going out there to try. You know, most of your team is behind you, but, like, it's so hard to pull off that maneuver where you come out of that cave and jump on the payload and actually win the fight. It's so unlikely to happen unless you have a lot of ultimates to work with. So I just wouldn't even really bother at that point, because chances are you just feed the enemy team more ult charge. Which is exactly what happened, basically. No, basically, that is just what happened. So Genji's using Dragon Blade over there. This is really funny to me. Like, it's just... Oh, look at this Genji. He pulls out the Dragon Blade. He's just pulled it out. He's coming in. Comes at us. Oh, fuck! Ah, never mind. Just kidding. And then he just slides away, using exactly 0% of his Dragon Blade. And then we got to kill a Farah as Reinhardt. It was a good day today. Dear Diary, I killed a Farah as Reinhardt. Feels good. So, we've almost got Earth Shatter. Their Reinhardt, I believe, still has his Earth Shatter at this point as well, because I don't think he used it during any of the last fights. So we're holding our barrier up inside of Winston's barrier right now, which is entirely pointless, and you could just be letting your barrier recharge during that time.
Earth Shattered at all this game?
So, just generally as Reinhardt, if there's another shield in front of yours, just keep yours down, because their shield is less important than yours. And you can just let theirs take damage first and let yours recharge. That's why Orisa is so good with Reinhardt. You just... Oh, now my shield has 900 more hit points. Incredible. So we've been Gravitoned right now, and Barrage is happening right next to us. Honestly, goes a lot better than expected, right? We only lost a couple of people, even though Farah barraged right next to us. They lost a couple of people as well, but they have a Mercy. And we don't have a Mercy. Do you see the issue here? If we also had a Mercy, both the people we lost could be alive right now, and we could just keep fighting as though nothing happened. But no, they have a Mercy and we don't. Therefore, there is a massive imbalance between our teams as a result. So, Reinhardt just used his Earth Shatter. Where do we use our Earth Shatter? I was distracted talking about why it's sad we don't have a Mercy. Oh yes, I remember this moment now. This was something I meant to point out. So, we are doing nothing during this period, because we are using our hammer just to smack the payload, basically, because these people are not coming up to us. So, as a result, imagine what the enemy team sees right now. The enemy team just sees you standing there, at nothing. So they're just like, wow, big target right there. And we're getting killed. We could be holding our barrier up. Like, there's not really any reason for us to have died right there, because we just got shot by Farah. We can hold our shield up. But we were like, we really wanted the Earth Shatter. And excuse me, Jesus. And we really wanted to hit them. But we had not yet been given permission to hit them or use Earth Shatter. So we just stand there swinging our hammer and accomplish not much other than dying. So we now have a Winston on our team, by the way, which is fantastic news. Like, that someone actually did change. They changed a little while ago, because they actually killed Genji right after his bold Dragon Blade plays earlier. But yeah, so that's great that we have a Winston now, because we really wanted a second tank. So we managed to kill their Mercy, which is great. We are taking a lot of damage right now, though. And we get to pin their Reinhardt, like, running at the enemy team swinging usually just ends in sadness, especially when you're already at 100 hit points. It works out that we end up getting the Mercy, which is cool, but, like, running at them like that, swinging your hammer, not usually recommended. A lot of shield flicking usually is meant to happen in the middle of a team fight as Reinhardt, because just kind of walking around swinging your hammer and not hitting anything is a big waste of time, really. Like, a lot of Reinhardt in team fights is like flicking the shield up and down. Or like, sometimes you get to sort of separate the team fight where like, you get to just sort of stand in between your team and the enemy team and block for your team. But like, if you're actually like swinging your hammer into the melee, you don't usually want to just like walk forward swinging the hammer. You want to like walk forward with the shield up and then swing at them once you actually get closer to them. Because then you just take less damage. You do get there slower, which can be an issue if you're trying to like get someone who's really low health, but generally not recommended. So we've almost got Earth Shatter built up. Their Reinhardt also would basically have Earth Shatter right now. I don't believe he used it during the last fight. I'm talking, you know, I'm distracted right now. Didn't you watch this through earlier and you should know what happens? Yeah, but I'm just kind of lazy. So we have Earth Shatter now, because we just pinned that Reinhardt, which feels really good. We were gonna kill that Mercy, which was also gonna feel really good, but then a fucking Doomfist appeared out of nowhere and punched us in the face, which was frankly very rude. Been seeing a lot more Doomfists lately. You noticed that one? You know, weirdly enough, now that they're actually fixing the, like, 76 bugs that Doomfist has, he's starting to get played more. Isn't that incredible? I still think he's bad. But, hey, at least he has better than a 0% pick rate. He didn't literally have a 0% pick rate, but it wasn't much better. So, we fluffed our Earth Shatter, which is very sad. Don't do that. Highly inadvisable. Especially since we know he has his Earth Shatter, so... Well, we think we know he has his Earth Shatter. I'm pretty sure we know he has his Earth Shatter. So now we switch to D.Va. We play D.Va for about 2 minutes, because we play her for the remainder of this round. So 1.5 minutes, just about. D.Va's okay, but I wouldn't, because, like, the only thing D.Va has versus their team comp that Reinhardt doesn't is you can contest the Widowmaker, but we already have a Winston for that. And she, I guess, is better at fighting Doomfist. Frankly, not a good enough reason to pick a hero as far as I'm concerned. Like, got bigger problems than Doomfist. She might eat Graviton as well. Other than that, she's, like, strictly worse versus that team comp than Reinhardt is, because, like, Reinhardt can also try and kill Genji while he's using Dragon Blade. Because you can just go forward and, like, fucking man-fight the Genji, because on the weapon triangle, hammer beats sword, whereas D.Va can't really do that. So I would just stick on Reinhardt, because I would still be afraid of my team getting earth-shattered by their Reinhardt. That's less of a concern now, because our team comp has changed a little bit, but I don't think D.Va brings that much extra that Reinhardt didn't already bring, basically. So we've almost got self-destruct built up. Oh, look, we got earth-shattered, then Doomfist landed on us, and we never got to build up self-destruct before that happened. However, if we can manage to get back into our mech, which is rather unlikely in that situation, we would have been able to use self-destruct. We will at least get to come out of our spawn and use self-destruct almost immediately, and they still have enough distance to cover that, like, we will definitely have time to do that. So, you know, that ends up being better, but, like, I just think Reinhardt would have been a lot better for this preceding team fight than D.Va was. So both their supports are dead right now, because McCree just killed them both with Deadeye, which is incredible, honestly. Like, both supports, 2 entire kills with Deadeye, and they were both supports. Unbelievable. So they basically get to lose the fight as a result of that, because they lost both their supports in the middle of the fight, well, right at the start of the fight, basically, because we kind of reset. So, in case lose the fight, it's kind of that simple. By the way, there has still been some shit talk happening this entire time. I've been kind of talking over it. Like, at one point during this round, our goal boy number 1, James, informed FaZe DCG that he was gay and should suck a cock. If he wants to do that, that's his own business, but it's very rude to tell people to suck a cock. So, now we're going to play Winston for the rest of the game. See, I told you there wasn't very much D.Va in there. So, now, they are, because they had a Genji and a Widowmaker, it's not exactly unforeseeable that they will still have a Genji and a Widowmaker. We see they have an Orisa and a Symmetra, so already we're feeling pretty good about playing Winston, because Symmetra, nice. So we do just sort of jump in without very much planning associated with it, because we just, like, jump up onto the gas station immediately. There doesn't even look like there's actually anybody up there, so jumping up there doesn't really do very much, and we just immediately jump back down, and then we kind of, like, grind on the Orisa, because we're trying to walk out before, but you can't just try and walk through the Orisa. You gotta sit back and play it with your bubble more, and then, like, wait for the cooldown to be up. You can't really just, like, push past her and then jump afterwards. Like, just, like, sit back, be more chill. Then when your jump cooldown is up, you can jump out again, rather than trying to shove past it. So, we're trying to fight right now, but 2 members of our team are currently dead. They are Tracer and Lucio, and we are close to our spawn, so they will get back here quickly. But they are not presently here, so we don't really want to be fighting. Like, we don't need to exercise much more patience than that. Like, we only need to wait, like, an extra 2-3 seconds. And then our full team will be here, rather than starting the fight when 2 of our team are still on their way back. Yeah, they're gonna get there soon, so it's one of those things that might seem like, they're gonna be here in like a second, what's the big deal? The thing is, though, if you start the fight and the rest of your team aren't there, you do just invite the impossibility that the enemy team just turns around and kills you, because the rest of your team isn't actually there right now to fight with you. So, they also have a Torbjorn. So, their team is annoying, obviously, but their Torbjorn is dead right now. So, that basically removes the thing we have to be afraid of as Winston, and we get to just jump on the Mercy and kill her. I will say that we have... Ooh, robot-y man over there. Zarya's internet connection is not very good. Or his microphone is not very good. His internet connection is probably fine. This feels really bad for them. Look at that. Oh, no. Let's go back and watch it again, because it was just that sad for Mercy. She's like, I'm gonna come out. Look, I'm here. Oh, fuck. Comes out of the teleporter right as the pulse bomb gets to stick to her. Oh, feels bad, man. And then Torbjorn dies as well. Basically, it couldn't have gone worse for them right there. So, I will say what we haven't really been that productive during this fight, because we've, not really had much purpose in what we're doing. This is, like, really not helpful, because we already have our ult, so this is giving us nothing. We're just giving him more ult charge right now, because this isn't actually doing anything. Like, Winston was not really... Like, if he comes through this doorway, he dies, right? So, like... Us standing over there's no reason to do it. All we end up doing is giving him a little bit more ult charge because we're there for him to tase. Gave us nothing, and, like, didn't really accomplish anything. Because if he came out that door, he died. Like, there's no reason to be fighting up there. So, we're trying to, during the first fight, the first checkpoint, rather, the point I was trying to make before I got sidetracked, like, 8 times, is we didn't seem very focused. We just, like, jumped onto the gas station when nothing was really up there, and then we, like, jumped down and, like, tased Orisa a little bit. We got some Symmetra turrets, and then we just left. And then we came back and, like, we tased Mercy a little bit, but we never saw it through to completion, and we just sort of tased the front line a little bit again. This is just not what Winston is good at. Like, we should be more actively looking to try and get on the people that we're good at fighting, which we weren't really trying to do that actively during that team fight. Here we have killed Mercy. Some very sad business occurs right here. This is, like, not worth using your ultimate at this point, because most of your team is dead. So, like, this ultimate is going to accomplish nothing because your team is dead. So, and, like, yeah, like, they're not allowed to be out here. Like, they are overextending. But Primal Rage, when most of your team is dead, is not going to punish them for that fact. You're better off just saving it so you can actually use it in a situation where it might be helpful. Because right there, it didn't do anything except, like, help us get back to our spawn, basically. So, because they were performing this illegal maneuver, though, they now get to be fucked. We give up on that Hanzo way too easily. Like, he's dead, right? Like, he's dead. And then as soon as the bubble is on him, we just, like, give up. Nah, dog, like, keep going, right? Like, just break the bubble and then try and kill the Hanzo, because there's nothing really to be afraid of. I mean, the thing to be afraid of is Scatter Arrow, but, like, as soon as you see Hanzo start looking at the ground, just jump, and that usually gets you past the Scatter Arrow. When you're dueling a Hanzo, like, Scatter Arrow is very scary, but, like, as soon as you see him look down, just jump, because that's when he's gonna do it, and then it's not scary. Like, we can keep going after that dude. Because he was dead. Like, you know, if you're gonna kill the person under the Zarya bubble doesn't matter. So, if you can believe it, even though the protagonists of our story, Gold Boys, and, the vile villain of Moira, apparently, has been happening the entire time during the background. And, if you can believe it, we actually win this game. Not to spoil the surprise or anything, but, like, it's not been, like, continuous toxicity, but, like, there's been enough of it that, like, I would be thinking, oh god, we're probably gonna lose this game. We actually win this game, amazingly enough. So, we are in the Graviton right now, but, if their Pharah isn't there, or their Hanzo isn't there, they don't actually have anything to combo with the Graviton, so it's not the end of the world, and we kind of just get to come back out of it again. So, Mercy is currently using Valkyrie. The thing is with Valkyrie, is that you're usually better off ignoring the Mercy, because the only way that you really kill the Mercy is if she is, like, badly out of position when she uses it, or she's, like, low when she already starts using it. Or you have ultimates, like Tac Visor, High Noon, sometimes Dragon Blade. Sometimes. Like, that's the only way you really kill Mercy out of Valkyrie. Or a Widowmaker. If you watch the Overwatch League, you'll notice they were playing a lot of Widowmaker. Yeah, it's because of Mercy. And that's also why you've probably seen more Widowmakers in the game recently. But, anyway. So, usually, when Mercy is using Valkyrie, your chances of killing her are astronomically low. So, you might as well just hit the people on the ground. Like, the advice to give is if you don't have something that is really likely to kill Valkyrie, you're better off just hitting the people on the ground and trying to, like, burst them to death through Valkyrie. Because it doesn't like, she's an AoE healing, yeah, but it's not like Transcendence. You know, you can still kill people if you, like, focus somebody and try to burst them. And that is usually a better idea than trying to kill the Mercy, because your chances of killing the Mercy are extremely low. You might still kill somebody who's on the ground, though. So, we've got Primal Rage built up again, and we're going to use it to heal and keep fighting, as one traditionally does. It ends up being very awkward, because Zarya uses Graviton at, like, the same time. And, we don't quite jump far enough to keep bullying the Mercy. Even if we did, she would have just shot past us anyway, so not really the end of the world. So, now, we put our bubble down up here. It doesn't accomplish anything. No reason to put our bubble up here, because we only put it around ourselves. But, like, Farah isn't concerned about us. If anything, we should jump down and put it on top of the payload, because she's probably going to be shooting our squishy people who are likely to be on the payload. She's unlikely to shoot at us. So putting the bubble down up there doesn't do really very much of anything. So we try to get the Farah. We got a lot of things that are, like, pretty consistent at killing Farah, provided there isn't a Mercy there. Because, like, Winston does consistent damage, pretty good at killing Farah. Moira, pretty good at killing Farah, unless there's a Mercy there, in which case neither of you are very happy. But Farah was floating around by herself, so between the touching from Moira and Winston, we managed to kill her. Feels good. We almost died. Very scary. Would not have been the end of the world because we caught this checkpoint, so we would come back quite quickly. As we can see, two of our team are up there dying. Diamond Boy Rai is, I would say, doing a rather poor job overall of boosting his two gold boys. And his two gold boys are not really being very productive in trying to help each other, because they are, in fact, choosing to shit-talk people when they say something in team chat, which is not exactly very conducive. Because, you know, like, Diamond Boy Rai doesn't say anything. At least not that I remember. I don't think he said anything. Might have said something in, like, team chat at the end, because I don't watch past the end of the round. The end of the game, I should say. But, like, he doesn't say anything. But his two gold... So he must just be like, can you two shut the fuck up so this would be easier? Meanwhile, our boy James is like, you're toxic, so if you could kill yourself, that'd be fantastic. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful input, James. I'm glad we've got you on the team. You're a valuable asset. The protagonist of the story is not always the good guy.
There's a rapper around here.
So, sometimes the protagonist is in fact a massive asshole. Just look at, Punisher, for example. Allegedly a good guy. But just barely. You know, like, just barely. Cool backstory, bro. Still horribly violent murder. So, over here we see people using their ultimates to fight us outside of our spawn. We advise our team to let them blow their ultimates, which is indeed exactly what we should do. Because they shouldn't be doing this, and if they want to do this, that's fine. Just means they have less ults to actually fight us off. So we're going forward to keep fighting these people while we're low HP. Not recommended. Usually when you're like half HP, you want to be backing out to try and get healed first. And we've got Moira, Lucio on our team as healers. Like, we haven't necessarily got the greatest healing in the world. Moira has a lot of healing, but it's not like 100% consistent, right? And Lucio is like very little healing. So going forward while low is not advisable. So, Reaper Span over here. He got two people, but we got more of his team, so we get to win the fight anyway. And then Roadhog killed him with Whole Hog, which is very sad for the Reaper. We've almost got Primal Rage. Not really something we're overly excited to have, because it's not really a playmaking ultimate, you know. It's more just a survival ultimate than anything else. Which, you know, is fine. If Winston had a massively playmaking ultimate, he would be too strong, because he is really easy to play. So if he did, like when people say Winston needs a buff because he does too little damage, these people are insane. Because if, like, Winston had a playmaking ultimate, or he did more damage, he would be extraordinarily overpowered because of how easy he is to play. It's like how, Bastion can never really be allowed to be very strong because he is so easy to play. So if he is too strong, he's very stifling. If you want proof of this, you can just look at Junkertown, where pirate ships are really strong. Because guess what? Bastion's really easy to play. And it's really it's really easy to build a bunker around Bastion with a Reinhardt and a Narissa. And then, because of the way Junkertown is, it's really hard to get the Bastion off of the payload. So, this is why Winston this is why Winston is balanced. He does what he does very well.
Oh God, no,
And, like, he can't really be buffed, because then he'd be massively too strong. So we were really low because we got hit by Scatter Arrow right as we jumped forward, which is very sad and known to happen. However, we had Primal Rage, so we get to survive anyway. So, we want this Ana dead. Ana's dead now. Now we want this Hanzo dead. Hanzo's dead now. Great times. I would have put the bubble around the Hanzo, though, just because I would be... Like, the way Hanzo is, I would not want him to, like, randomly kill someone with an arrow, you know? So, what we're trying to do right now is we're trying to get the Mercy. She's low. She's not low anymore. Winston still just, like, doesn't kill Mercy through Valkyrie because of how the regen is, but, like, Hanzo just got rezzed in front of us. We can still kill Hanzo. So rather than trying to chase after the Mercy, who now we have realistically a low chance of actually, like, killing or help killing, we might as well just kill the Hanzo, because we're good at killing Hanzo.
Let's pick.
So, and now you notice one of our Gold Boy number 2, the other protagonist in our story, in the tale of the boosting, is picking Doomfist. So Diamond Boy must be like, God damn it. He's trying to be really efficient in his boosting, but they're not really being very helpful, I would say. There was, as I recall also, there was like one point where Moira was like, good calls, or something like that, and James just went, hey, why don't you go fuck yourself, in response, and I was like, yes, good input, James. Thank you for that one. So, the 3 major contributions that Gold Boy made were, you're toxic, go kill yourself, you're gay, I think you might be gay, go suck a dick, and go fuck yourself. Great team player. And that's why I don't join the team chat in Overwatch, because it's just a waste of time. Like, that's all that happens, is people are just, like, massive... I'm gonna go on a train here, and I'm gonna warn you that it's gonna get very vulgar very quickly. This is gonna be an extraordinarily demonetized video. I apologize in advance. The reason that I don't join the voice chat in this game is because the voice chat is predominantly filled by... the voice chat consists of the Overwatch community. It is filled with basically 2 things. Dicks and cunts. And you know what happens when dicks and cunts collide. A lot of fucking around. And I've got no patience for that. I also fucking love to fight people on the internet. So, fucking Gold Boy over here joins the game. And he's like, you're gay. Go fuck yourself. Go kill yourself. I'm like, yeah. I am occasionally partial to the odd penis. You are correct. But you're actually a massive asshole. And then that's how it starts. And then the fight continues for the entire rest of the game. I get jazzed as fuck. Like, that's the kind of thing that energizes me. I love fighting people. Doesn't tilt me at all. I love fighting people. But everyone else is tilted. Everyone else in the game is immediately tilted. I'm having a fucking fantastic time. But everyone else is tilted and we lose the game. But I had fun. But that's why I don't join the voice chat. Because of people like James. And people like Pancake Salad. What a weird name. Pancake Salad. Never really thought about that one until just now. Because he was also a dick. He was just much more muted than James. James is a vocal dick, right? Which is the absolute worst kind of penis. You can take it from me. So, anyway, enough talking about the heroes of our story, the Dick Patrol. So, nothing massively overarching stands out. Generally, with Reinhardt, we aren't really, like, necessarily blocking for our team very much. We're kind of, like, blocking for ourselves in a lot of situations. And we could be, like, just letting our shield regenerate, because the whole point is to be blocking for other people. And with Winston, we aren't really prioritizing the backline at times, and other than that, it was like more smaller stuff, really, but those are like the bigger things that stood out in this game. So thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer, and I hope you found the video helpful. But not you, James, or Pancake Salad. If you're there, fuck you, James.